Well, if you're ever going to build anything, you've got to get the land cleared. They call that excavation. Demolishing old buildings, bringing in the new, setting up for new, big, beautiful buildings. There's an art to it. We've got an expert here to talk about it. Stay tuned, everybody. It's the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up. Welcome, everyone, to the Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, Carter Rethwish, the Cardinal Cowboy. I have a bit of an affinity for machinery and the like. As a kid, my dad built his own bulldozer, believe it or not.
Really?
Built the treads out of railroad tie, real hard wood. And there's pictures of me riding around with my dad on this little bit. It actually had a lawnmower motor in it, but it would spin around and do fun stuff. But he was a college admissions counselor, so inside work with no heavy lifting, he would always say. But boy, if you're going to build, I like saying the word excavation.
Excavation.
Tearing things out. You're a bit of a video anomaly. You've got your own kind of trending videos you make about how you do these projects.
I love it. I love it. I grew up watching Steve Irwin, who I thought was just one of the best self-marketing guys that you could ever meet. He always tried to pull you into what he was doing. And so I've had a couple different businesses over the years, and I just love it. You know, like, let's take a look at what we have right here, folks. Check it out. Going to do some hydraulic braking. You know, we got some rocks, and that rhymes with crocs. So, you know, I love it. Now we're getting the excavator, hook everything up. Excavator rhymes with gator, so I like that too, you know. And you just get people drawn into it and make it fun. But then it's also very technical, and it can be really serious, you know, like when you're demolishing a house, fire demos, different things like that. You got to be careful what's next to it. If there's a neighbor's house, of course, you're in a machine. Your things can fall on you. You're pushing, like we did some land clearing out in New Haven, 100-foot oak trees that are, you know, 100 inches at breast height. If that falls back on you, you could be squished. So, yeah, so there's some danger to it, too.
Wow. Very exciting. So give it up for Matt Gumersell. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Owner and founder of SovereignExcavation.com. If you look that up, 314-308-7161. And just interesting talking to you. I was like, well, let's start the show because we're getting into some good content here that we want to get into. But tell me then, you got a background as police and firearms.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that keep us safe and machinery. What ultimately led to getting into excavation?
So I'm a Christian guy. I've had 5 businesses over probably about 30 years. I've had a body shop, mechanical shop for about 23 years. I did bodyguarding and executive protection and policing about 30 years. Had an indoor shooting range and taught the concealed carry here in St. Louis for about 12 years. So I've always had these different things. When one thing kind of changes, the market changes. Back in 2007, the bottom dropped out of the housing market. I started the gun stuff, and was really successful with that. Then I went from that and into policing and bodyguarding, and was there during the whole Ferguson situation. Had the honor of like taking care of people like Alveda King and some other Fox News people, Judge Janine Perot, that kind of stuff. And then that transferred into. I went into the police academy. I was asked to come on doing some policing. Did that for about 3 or 4 years. And then while I was doing that, started renovating a house for my family. And then I met a guy from church through my pastor who did concrete stuff. And he asked me, hey, can you tear out some driveways? And so it just turns into one thing, turns into another thing and another thing. And God just opened doors for me. And that's been now going into our 12th year of doing different types of excavation and land clearings and hydraulic rock breaking services. So
that's why I said the Lord leads you down the path that He wants you to go down. And I was switching careers. I was going to be a professional baseball player, and God had a different plan there.
You have a very powerful testimony.
And so but it's great to see people, and that's really where this show came about. I'm like, there's other people that have interesting stories too. Maybe they didn't go through a coma, but they went through some hurdle in life, or a business change, or a family crisis, and made it through it. And as you continue, and I'll say, as far as security goes, I would feel very safe. Matt here, he could keep somebody safe for sure as it comes to it. With that, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle, and given as long as you've been doing this now, there's a fairly decent odds that you were doing the excavation work for someone who was getting a new home built or new construction, or do you do some business work too? I guess if businesses, anybody needs a building built.
Of course. So we actually did the Verizon building
Okay.
in Overland, maybe 6, 7 years ago. That was a big project. Of course, we'll do residential or commercial excavation and demolition. So big demolition projects or any type of excavation, it's fine with us.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. That's one of my specific questions. But yeah, get into and how are they operate differently? What do you enjoy about each? But what led you here to the success that you've had? Obviously, you've got a kind of committed personality and lifestyle and approach.
Yeah.
And you want to make things happen and follow through for the powers above that are put you in those positions.
Absolutely. So I have to give the credit to God through Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I really am committed Christian, and I do try to do things as unto the Lord. Secondly, really caring about your customers and actually trying to listen to what they want and what are their needs and expectations, and trying to offer very creative and dynamic solutions. Sometimes we've done some situations where we've done some different shoring projects that were and demolition projects, having empathy and compassion, relating with customers when their house burns down, trying to find solutions to just meet the needs of the client. That it's not just about your business, but it's actually about trying to really service people. And all the businesses I've had over 30 years have been service oriented. So that's what I try to do, is really serve my clients.
Well, yeah, and providing that service, taking care of people. If I guess I'm thinking, drawing a blank, but he said your success will be in direct relation to the number of people that you've helped. Right, the Zig Ziglar, I think, might have said something like that. And bottom line
Sounds like Zig.
Yeah. So if there we go. We all know Zig Ziglar in this space. But yeah, if you're doing good by others and helping the Lord, that we're getting. I'm not a particular Bible thumper type myself, but I believe there's certainly a higher power. There's a good model they sent with a guy who traveled around here on this planet a couple thousand years ago.
That's right.
And set a great example and told us, hey man, kind of follow these guidelines and you're going to be successful. And it ties into business.
Absolutely.
Too. Obviously, business is the means by which we provide, and that's the way it works on this little planet. So
if you're faithful with little, he'll make you rule over much. So
I like that. There we go. We're getting some good quotes. So get your pencil out, everybody. Write some of these down. Matt's going to share with us some of his what he's learned from the higher powers that have put us in those positions to try to communicate and help people. How you said 12 years doing this? Is it all that whole time been excavation?
Yeah, so I've had about 5 different businesses over the past 30 years, and we kind of talked earlier how it transitioned from one thing to another. So I got into this about 12 years ago, actually rebuilding my house, and I just jumped in a little excavator that I rented from Scott over at K&K. Shout out to Scott, he's a good friend of mine. And so the guy asked me, hey, who taught you how to do that? And I said, I don't know, I'm just doing it, kind of you just come naturally. And he asked me, hey, would you be in? So this was a concrete guy. Alan Blessed, and he asked me to come tear some stuff out, so I said, sure, you just have to tell me how you want me to do it. I did it. Then he asked me, hey, would you like to dig some, he did a lot of garage footings and things like that. I said, I've never done one, but if you'll tell me what to do, I'll do it. And then it was like, oh, the Lord was showing me, hey, I have a business here for you, and you're going to transition out of this and move into that. And so that took about a year. You try to take calculated risks. So I bought some new, smaller equipment thinking, oh, I'll just kind of get my feet wet. And it just exploded. And then I realized quickly I needed bigger equipment. So then you get more debt and you buy bigger equipment. So.
Well, and you're obviously able to pay the bills. But what does the average excavation job go for these days? I mean, it ranges depending on how big the job is, I guess.
Absolutely. So that's that question is it's really, there's too many contingencies to kind of answer that. So, for instance, I could tell you about our in-ground pool demolitions.
Right.
Those in which we've done maybe over 120 of those in 11 years. That's pretty consistent because most pools aren't just enormous. Although I did Chesterfield Montessori School a couple years ago, and that was about a $120,000 project. But like an average in-ground pool demolition that's, say, 22 by 30 is maybe $16,000 to $20,000. A 2,500 square foot house might be a $20,000 excavation, but then you might hit rock. So you might have to get the hydraulic braking out. You might have fat clay. So we do things in Kirkwood. lots of fat clay. We do things around Jefferson County and some of the other areas in St. Louis County, and you're hitting rock. So there's so many contingencies that you just don't know what until you get there and you're actually involved in it.
Yeah, the mix of those ingredients below the ground level, dirt, clay, and rock.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get, I imagine.
I'm actually on a pool demolition right now that the people have a natural spring in their backyard that lifted the pool, and so that's why they're having it demoed. So we actually had to create a solution and do something innovative to make a channel that would channel the rock like a massive French drain. And so it's like 5 feet by 3 feet by about 50 feet long, filled with clean rock, so that when that spring comes up where the pool used to be, it will go through this channel and permeate the clean rock, fill up, and then dissipate slowly over the ground without creating a big issue. And
becoming quite the engineer here, obviously. You've got dissipate and clean rock, and lots that goes into these things. And so, is your educational background come into this? I mean,
so
were you in training yet?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of excavation and digging courses, but I actually, when I was younger, I had a body mechanical shop. So when I got out of high school, I goofed around for a couple years driving pizzas for Panteras Pizza, have a hunk at home.
Right.
So I was the poster child for that.
Right.
And then they took me, or I went out of that. I always loved cars. I worked on cars from the time I was like 16 years old. I'd buy a car, fix it up, and sell it. Even I had an apartment, and I would sit on the parking lot and fix cars. So then I went to Rankin Technical College and graduated third in my class there. And I started doing auto body mechanical work, which turned into my own shop. And I had a pretty successful body shop for 23 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got that mechanical inclination. You understand the design and the way things flow and weight differentials and all.
Well, there's a lot of crossover in the trades. And so if you're framing a house, a lot of, simplistically, things need to be square within themselves. So if you're pulling a frame on a car, you're building a house, you're pouring concrete, there's 3, 4, 5 method, all that stuff. It's a lot of crossover. And then, implementing the machines and all that, I guess it just came naturally. So,
well, we're going to show you some of the success he's had and what people are saying. AI tells you all, everybody. And before we had Matt on the show, we checked out what people were saying. Lots of great stuff out there. Tell me about your team, and you have other partners, I guess, but you're kind of a one-man show with regard to
so right now I actually, in Missouri, the laws are set up for workman's comp and all that based on your gross and how many employees you have, and it's really hard to find employees that will love the baby like mom and dad. So I actually started off early, had a few employees, and had people driving other trucks and doing different things, and I just found out that I was doing my work plus doing their work. So it didn't work out so well, and then you have to pay all this workman's comp. So when we have the need for other people, bodies to actually do something, I have a really good network of other subcontractors and people like myself that run their business, run their equipment, that come in, they'll do mainly like with concrete. We work with a lot of concrete companies here in St. Louis. That works out really well. So.
Now, you talked about some of the abatement that was necessary sometimes to finish.
Actually, that's a great point. So I have some really good guys that we do. When we demo a house, you have to go through the whole abatement process, and we've had some bids in on really big projects where you have to hire a company that will not only assess what needs to be abated, but then will be able to come in and actually perform the work, which can be, sometimes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And what is abatement by definition? What is that?
So abatement is when they remove the asbestos and other potentially like chemically problematic materials that were in the construction materials when they built the house. So tiles in the roof, tiles in the ceiling, flooring, shingles sometimes have asbestos, and all that has to be taken out in a proper way. If you don't, you would ever get caught doing that, you'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, big trouble if you're leaving any of that behind, that's for sure. And we know asbestos has been an issue for a long time now.
Long time.
And I think it was a good material for keeping things warm. I'm not sure, was it?
I really don't know.
In your lungs, it
if you get it, it can really be problematic. Yeah.
What about your business here fuels your passion? Obviously, you're a very passionate type person, and you enjoy doing what you're doing and helping people, but what's it keeps you going every day?
I am. I really love doing what I do. When you're operating the equipment and you're seeing things come together, you're pushing 100-foot tall oak tree over and the thing is rocking back and forth and you're pushing it, or you're demolishing a house. It is really satisfying to see it's almost instant gratification when you're excavating something for somebody, you're installing the rock, you're putting that addition in, you're taking out that pool. We get in, we're professional, we're precise, we're accurate, we're really fast with the things that we do, and the clients are really satisfied. Like to see somebody's face light up, or in the opposite, I've got videos where people are crying as their homes are coming down, and I get emotional because you want to cry with them. Like their whole life was in that house and all those memories and everything. And just to be able to find things like a Bible in a fire that was there, or a family photo album or something. Almost every excavation or demolition that I've done on a house fire, I've found some really neat thing just by chance as you're raking through the debris. And I'll get out of the machine and go down in there and get it. Like I found Bibles and family photo albums and things and then you present them back to the client and they just weep.
They thought it was
lost
forever.
So seeing the satisfaction, seeing the look on the face of the person. I just did a really big addition for a guy in Ladue, and he's an architect. He designed all the things, and it was a pleasure to walk beside the guy and he'd say, "Hey, I want this to be done like this," and you do exactly what he wants, and he's just so thankful and appreciative. So I like that. I like being able to do things where you're seeing these instant results, and the clients are super happy. And we get in, we're the first person in, first person out. So we get in, we get our stuff done immediately, and then we leave a nice, whatever it is, generally for the concrete guys, or if they're going to build a house or the site preps or whatever we're doing. And we get in, we get our stuff done, and then we make it really nice, not only for the client, but for all the other contractors that we work with and subcontractors that we work with, and they're generally very thankful too. We play nice with all the concrete guys.
Well, that's a good strategy for life, everybody. Another one to write down there. Matt's giving us lots of good feedback. With that, we've got some great reviews that these are right on your website. It's nice to see people organize things so that people can find the information they need, so that when they are getting their research done, they can find the stuff that point to what you're talking about. But here, if you look at these, boy, they just go on and on. I hired this company to remove a very old pool and was extremely impressed with the results. Matt communicated extremely well so that I knew what to expect each step of the way. He professionally handled the permit process with the county from beginning to end, and was even able to help with some concrete work I needed done. I admired most about his company how he handled relationships with my neighbors.
So that's a funny story. So that Rosie, she's a really, really neat gal, and she's learning flipping realty and flipping houses. So I'm doing the pool demolition. We did a concrete patio for her, and I'm got my equipment on the trailer. It's a big truck, big trailer, and we're in these little residential neighborhoods. So you got to go in and try to figure out how you're going to turn around. So I went to go turn around the truck and trailer, and you have to pull out on the street, then back up, and then turn around. Well, there's two people that were leaving in their cars, and they just wouldn't let me out. So I'm kind of sitting there, and then they were making me back up so that they could get by. They just wouldn't allow me to move. So, you've got 60,000 pounds of equipment on a trailer, and you can't feel anything. So I back up, and I hit the neighbor head, one of these really nice brick mailboxes. Oh. So I just obliterated it. And I had no idea.
Yeah, it didn't take much.
So Rosie calls me, and I'm in the back, and I'm in the excavator, and I'm doing all this stuff, and everything's going right. She's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, Rosie, it's going great, man. I'm smashing this pool out, and everything's breaking fine. I'm getting the pool, and it just couldn't be going better." She goes, "You didn't happen to hit the neighbor's mailbox, did you?" Uh-oh. And I said, "Uh-oh." And I don't think so, but let me go look. And so I get out of the machine, I go out to the street, and I had just obliterated it. It was one of those really neat little brick things that has the mailbox in it. So I went up, I knocked on the door, I told the lady, I'm like, "I'm so sorry, ma'am." And I explained, and she was fine with it. I said, "I'll fix it." So the next day I had to get my mason trowel,
right?
And get all the bricks and go back. And it took me all day because it's got to look nice,
Right.
But when I got it done, actually the lady was like, "It looks better than it did before," and she was really happy with it. So.
Well, there you go. No, I've personally experienced that. We rented a U-Haul truck and backed into their mom's brick mailbox.
Yeah.
It's because it's brick. It's kind of it'll crack pretty easily. And the whole thing was destroyed.
Yeah.
And so we ended up just replacing it with another mailbox. But, wish we had some expertise in your space to do brickwork. But with that, a lot of fun in our community. We're over our halftime break here, but that's all right. I'm the producer, so I get to decide when we go to our breaks. But stay tuned with us, everybody. Some fun community stuff, a little bit about why we do this, and some of the other excitement you can expect to see that we're in and around town doing. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back here in just a minute.
All right, everybody, just got our bobbleheads. We're outside of Bush gate number 4. There it is, gate 5 up there. Right next to this exit, we got our hand stamped. There it is, hand stamped. And, but yeah, you can see there, Cardinal Cowboy performed. We got my buddy Brooke and his son King with us. There they are. Gate 4, and so you can see all of the ballpark village amenities. You go in up there, but we're going back around over here to go back to our car. We're going to show you the statues. These statues are pretty amazing. A lot of ballparks have them, but very few have the kind of superstars that the Cardinals have had over the years. So we're going to walk through these briefly. There he is. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you. We'll check him out. There he is. Rogers Hornsby. George Sissel. Cool Papa Bell, Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, Stan the man usual. There's another one for him. Red Shane Deans, there he is. Ozzie Smith, right there. Enos Slaughter, Dizzy Dean, and the most recent, Ted Simmons. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed our little walk.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goal, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
So we're hearing all the time now why people need to be on our show, and it's pretty obvious. These days, the stats are proven. If you're going to get people's attention, you've got to get them with video. Google loves video. YouTube, obviously, is where you put your videos, and it's just a no-brainer. The problem is, until we kind of put together this whole format, there's no other way to get this kind of quality for the cost we put together. Because I'm a computer nerd, because I figured out how to automate, systematize, we've systematized this. Mom and Dad made me go to computer classes just in case the professional baseball career didn't work out. And so we started off doing 1 show, then 2 shows, then 3 shows, and then we had to jump to 5 shows a week just to fill the demand, because here you get a professional video that looks dynamite, that'll let your business really showcase what they do, and you don't have to spend $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to do it. So if you'd like to be on the show, get a hold of us. and understand these stats. When you're on a show like this, when you put this on your website, you're going to decrease your bounce rate by 34%. You're going to increase your close rate, your conversion rate by up to 80%. We have clients tell us they get 25% more closed deals because of the show. They track this. They can speak to that. And you're going to just get an overall boom for your business. You've got to do video. If you don't do it through us, do it somewhere. Do it yourself. But do it professionally. Don't make your business look worse. Make your business look better. This video can be used for up to 7 years. We have clients, we did an interview with them 2020. It's 2026. They have made over $360,000 by using our video. They came back to do it again. So get a hold of us. Jump on here. Go to bigleagues.com. That's BIGG leagues.com. Or call us or text us right there, the phone number you see there. And we look forward to having you on our show. Stay tuned. Giddy up.
Well, there we have it, everybody, and that's what we get to enjoy, all of the fun when you've got experts like this. We're looking at the gallery. He's got lots of great pictures. Matt does on his website and on his TikTok. I'll even put this up on the wall there for everybody to see. And we've got a question we ask here in a few minutes about how has social media changed. And look at this, man. He's making videos all the time, and some of these have got 13,000 views, 4,000 views. Lots of good entertainment and education all there at once. They call it education, edutainment, something like that. But learn a little bit while you're being entertained too.
That's
so
right.
That's the way you do it. Tell me though, let's do a little cost analysis, and I can imagine it's another space, maybe not as often, but it can be that, oh, I've got a brother-in-law and he's got a little bobcat and he can do this for me.
Sure.
And so why should somebody not take the risk? Insurance, a lot of things to go on. Damage you can cause.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the biggest things is insurance. My insurance is thousands of dollars a month to have all the equipment insured, general liability insurance, insurance on the truck, insurance on the trailer. So insurance is a huge part of it. But having the skill sets and actually really knowing what you're doing. So for instance, last year, I had mentioned we do a lot of in-ground pool demolition. The city of De Pere made a gentleman redo the work that another company did on his father's pool right there at Ballas in Manchester across from the cemetery. They were trying to sell the house. They couldn't sell it because there was several issues. We had to re-excavate and redo the whole entire way that excavation was done. So there's a lot of things that go into working with, and over the years you learn these things. For instance, Scott Albert at Bannon Stewed, awesome. He has been like a father to me and teaching me so much stuff about excavating and concrete and installation of different things. Bannon Stewed is a great company. And then working with like Jeff Day in architecture and some of the different engineers that we've worked with, and really being humble and allowing people to teach you things and learn and not think that you know it all. Being able to say, hey, I'm struggling with something, I don't know how to do something, I want to learn, and making sure that you do, because you owe it to your customer in the end to make sure that you're giving them the best quality work. So learning go ahead.
Yeah, so we've got just a few seconds left here.
Sorry.
Matt's got a lot more to share. We're going to have him stick around for another half an hour, and we'll go over this. But we're going to talk about how you get started with him. Go to the website and get a hold of him, and why you should choose him. Stay tuned. We'll be back on our second interview. Stay tuned, everybody.